All right, YouTube, welcome. It is September 4th, 2021, and I wanted to give you guys my XRP update for this week. And I guess we'll talk about the rest of the cryptocurrencies since they might do a little something. So to start off, we had a phone call conference with the SEC and Ripple lawsuit. Judge Netburn has ordered that the documents that the SEC deems privileged need to be turned over to her by September 14th. Now, these are the documents that the SEC has been claiming privilege on, that they're claiming that Ripple does not need to show or did not need to see what has been going on with the SEC and what they have been doing behind the scenes before they took this enforcement action against Ripple. Now, Ripple will have until the 28th of this month to respond to these. So I'm excited to see what actually gets turned over and what comes of this. Now, we know that the SEC never had a case. Okay, Ripple did everything properly from the very beginning, from the creation of XRP to it being gifted to Ripple. Now, will they be able to say that some of the initial sales of XRP were a security? Potentially give them a slap on the wrist fine. But as we've been talking about, Ripple knew that this was coming. Ripple knew that they were going to get sued. Ripple knew that they were going to be put to the test. They've been reaching out to the regulators since the very beginning, working with the banks and financial institutions to make sure that everything that they've been doing has been done properly. But our government, being the corrupt institution that it is, they're greedy. They're greedy, and they wanted to come after the company that was centralized enough, a centralized entity that they could actually attack. And then they wanted to go for the biggest bag, and that was Ripple. So now we know why they went after Ripple. $1.3 billion is what the lawsuit is for. I suspect that at best there will be a slap on the wrist fine, but I do think that Ripple will allow the SEC to settle up with them, because I think that Ripple knows what would be exposed if we were to get the full story of how corrupt the SEC is. But I don't think that Ripple's interested in doing that. They just want regulatory clarity so that they can continue pressing on in their journey to put a dent in the universe, as they've stated in the past. So we saw that. There's going to be some big developments in the case this month. We have a lot of people speculating that the case could be settled this month. I don't know if it will, but we are seeing the SEC get exposed the longer that this case continues. So I would suspect that between now and the end of the year, this case will be settled up for sure. And as I just had a conversation with Quincy Jones, we both believe that XRP will set the standard for cryptocurrency regulations in the United States. Whether the case gets settled this month or in December, I will continue to pack my bags until I no longer am able to, which I will talk about that later in my summary of the Quincy Jones interview. So the SEC has responded to whether or not its employees were able to trade some of these assets. In their response, they state how they have a prohibited holdings list. Now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP were never on this list. But in addition, they have what they call a watch list. Bitcoin and Ethereum were never on the watch list, but as of April 13th, 2018, XRP was on that watch list. So it never was on the prohibited holdings list, but it was on the watch list, which allowed the SEC employees to trade and accumulate XRP if they so pleased. Now, what's going to be interesting to actually, if we ever get to see what truly was going on, we already know that basically the SEC gave Ethereum a free pass and green-lighted that project because there was already big institutional money behind Ethereum. And so they were given a green pass or a green light and able to go after the Bill Hinman speech, which they're now claiming was just his opinion, even though we know that's not the case. So I want to give a quick shout out to Digital Asset Investor and the rest of the XRP community who has been right at the tip of the spear in this case, highlighting the hypocrisy of the SEC and the corrupt institution that it is, and really just shining a light on all of these speeches, on all of the proceedings that were going on before the lawsuit was dropped against Ripple. Ripple was pleading for regulatory clarity, setting up an office in DC in 2019, I believe was the year. They have been trying to work with the regulators since the very beginning. They did everything properly, trying to set up a relationship. And what's amazing is we now even have SEC commissioners stating themselves that Ripple has been at the forefront, leading the way in establishing relationships with the regulators. But yet they still go back and file a lawsuit against Ripple. So as I've been saying since the very beginning, I think that this was all by design. This was all set up to stall XRP from taking off before we get to the chosen moment for this great reset that we are now entering and going through. I think the XRP has been held back for this reason. And I've said since the very beginning that the SEC did not have a case. Ripple did everything properly, the creation of XRP, the gifting to Ripple, no ICO, which is the key. Because now they're stating Clayton and Hinman, and now Gary Gensler, the current chair of the SEC, have stated that 99%, no, not even 99%, they've stated that every ICO they've seen is a securities offering. So we know how they view the ICOs. Ripple never did an ICO, and that's critical. That's very crucial. I want you guys, when you're looking at what you're going to invest in, you really need to look and see, did the company do an ICO? If they did, what's the status of the currency now? And then you also need to look at, does that company have the money to fund a legal battle like Ripple does? Ripple's spending millions of dollars having the best legal team that money can buy to fight this case. You need to ask yourself, does your project, if it was an ICO, they're most likely going to get sued by the SEC, or there's going to be some sort of action taken against them. Do they have the funds to actually fight a case? That is crucial when looking at where to invest. So we are seeing so much hypocrisy, basically XRP being put on a watch list back in 2018, but that did not stop the SEC employees from being able to invest in XRP. Will we ever know, if they invested into Bitcoin or Ethereum before Hinman gave his Ethereum speech? Probably not. Most likely never. But we know that the SEC wants to wrap up this case, because the further this goes, the more they get exposed. And a key part of that is we have former SEC officials, Mary Jo White and Andrew Seresny, representing Ripple. And that is key. Now, I'm going to play a clip for you guys of BitBoy talking about this. And, BitBoy's got his guy, he's got his sources, even though the XRP community has been over the target for years. He doesn't want to give us any credit, but now he wants to be the supreme leader, whatever. I'm not going to get into that conversation. I think that it's very immature. And I think that the XRP community doesn't need a leader. We're all just a group of guys and gals who are standing for the truth and trying to secure a future for our families. And that opportunity is right there with XRP, and we're being held back by corrupt institutions who are trying to who are trying to hold back a cryptocurrency that will actually level the playing field, which is what they don't want. They don't want a level playing field, which is why Ethereum was given a green light and why they chose to go after Ripple first. Now, I'm going to play this BitBoy clip, and now he's stating that we're going to reach a $4 price for XRP by the end of the month, and he's been stating that we will get a settlement this month. We'll see if that comes true. I'm going to play this clip, and shout out to Digital Asset Investor. This is his clip that I'm going to play. It features BitBoy Crypto, and then it features Hester Pierce, which is really fascinating that we are now seeing Hester Pierce being outspoken, saying that she disagrees with her boss, Gary Gensler, stating that there is not clarity. She does not think that there is clarity. And so this is a huge statement by Hester Pierce to come out and state this. But I'm going to play this clip, and then I'm going to play my TikTok that I dropped back in February of this year, where I mentioned Mary Jo White and Andrew Seresny representing Ripple. So I'm going to play those, and then I'm going to come back and give you guys my summary of my Quincy Jones interview, and then we'll wrap this up.
And once this happens, this is the bombshell that will end the case. When they find out that the commissioners of the SEC or employees of the SEC have been trading XRP during this time, everything will go out the window. Because then, you know what it does? Then it puts them at risk. And they're not going to be willing to do that. That's why this case, hear me now, this case is already over. The settlement process is already begun. This is over. This will not go on much longer. You are now starting to understand. You are now figuring out why Ripple is beating the SEC like a dog, like a bad, misbehaved dog that it is. Because they already know all the holes in the case, because he was the director of enforcement, is actually what Andrew Saraceni was. Between Mary Jo White and Andrew Saraceni, these guys know everything that the SEC did during this time they shouldn't have been doing. Why do you think Ripple knows exactly where to go and where to attack? They got inside people. They know.
Well, one area where the chair and I think don't see eye to eye is the lack of clarity around when something is or is not a security, and what actually is the security at issue when we're talking about these token offerings. So I do think that we could provide some more clarity in that space. I think we could provide more clarity around custody of digital assets by broker-dealers, investment advisors, and others in our space. And just more generally, we could provide clarity around how these traditional entities can interact with digital assets in a way that's compliant with the existing regulatory structure.
All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If my TikTok is not uploaded to the YouTube, it's because I got hit with copyright for the music playing in the background of my TikTok. So if you guys aren't already following me there, go check out my TikTok. I'm posting there almost every day, and then I go live. I do live streams pretty much every day, and that's where I'm breaking down the news and giving my current analysis. So check that out. Guys, we've been over the target. In the XRP community, we've been over the target for years. And just now we have BitBoy coming on the scene and claiming to be our leader, whatever he's trying to do. So that's pretty comical to me. But now I want to talk about the interview that took place last week with Quincy Jones. So this was my first big interview that I've had since I started making XRP cryptocurrency content. And it was a really fascinating conversation. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's an hour-long conversation. It's posted on my YouTube, and you guys can go check it out. My three big takeaways was: one, XRP is going to set the standard for cryptocurrency regulations in the United States. This is from Quincy. My three big takeaways from Quincy. XRP will set the standard for cryptocurrency regulation in the United States. Yes, we know this. Here's the big kicker now. We might not be able to get XRP after the settlement. Now, I'm not saying that XRP is going to be labeled a security. What I'm saying is that you're going to have a license similar to the ones that you have to have with commodities to buy XRP. Quincy used milk and rice as an example of the licenses that you have to purchase certain commodities. And that is to prevent speculative trading, moving the markets and making them too volatile. So that is one of the reasons why you won't be able to get XRP after the settlement. The other one is because price is going to take off and we're going to be at a much higher price. You won't be able to pack your bags when XRP reaches $5, $10, $20, $30 after the lawsuit. Now, my final big takeaway is Quincy did confirm that a much higher price will be needed for XRP and these other chosen liquidity tokens, which I have here behind me. These are the three big ones that I put in a category of their own. These are chosen liquidity tokens to run the new financial system. But he confirmed that a much higher price is needed to provide the liquidity to facilitate these markets that we are aiming to facilitate. So whether that's the derivatives market, cross-border payments, Nostro Vostro, you guys know all of the money is in the quadrillions of dollars. And so when we start to run these markets through these blockchains, they're not going to be able to facilitate the markets unless we have a much higher price to provide the liquidity needed to actually run these markets. Now, I mentioned in my interview with Quincy, I said, okay, so there's something there to this agreed upon or set price for XRP that's been a theory kind of circulating in the XRP community for years. And he explained that it's very simple. If you want to calculate the price needed, you just go look at these markets and say, okay, if we get 10% of the derivatives market, what is XRP going to have to be at? You guys can do the calculations and come up with your price predictions. For me, the agreed upon or set price for XRP, very easily 3 digits. I think that 3 digits actually doesn't get us very far. For me, the set price for XRP, the agreed upon price, is going to be a 4-digit price. I do believe that XRP will eventually hit 5 digits. That's 10,000 plus. But I don't think that the set price is going to be that high. It could be. I don't rule it out. I don't rule it out at all. But for me, I see 3 digits doesn't really get us far enough. 4 digits, I think, right in between $2,000 and $10,000, I think gets us a good start to start facilitating these markets. And I'm talking about derivatives being the big one that XRP is going to target. Our insiders, our sources have been telling us for years that XRP was tested in the cross-border payment space, but the true market that XRP and Ripple is going after is the derivatives market. So you guys can make your predictions. I think the XRP will be set or agreed upon at a 3 or a 4-digit price, which is why I'm not going to be selling my XRP at $10, $20, or $30. I'm not even here for $50 XRP. Yes, our lives will be changed at those prices, but until utility actually kicks in and we actually have utility flowing through these pipelines that have been built by Ripple, right? The XRP ecosystem. I envision basically pipelines spread out. It's like oil. XRP is the oil. Ripple's building the pipelines in the ecosystem where the utility is going to flow through. So when we get to a $10 or a $20 price, that is not actual utility flowing through the pipelines. So I will not be parting way with my XRP at $10 or $20. And I've been in XRP for a while, but you're seeing a lot of these other guys who've been in XRP for a while, they want to exit. You know, they're going to sell 10% of their bag at $10, 10% of their bag at $20. And that's fine. I get it. These are guys and gals who've stacked a lot of XRP, been in here for 3 to 5 years. I understand. For me personally, I'm not taking that risk. When I know, see, that's the thing. XRP has a set or agreed upon price of 3 or 4 digits, which means that over the next 5 to 10 years, it is going to reach a 5-digit price. So why would I part ways with any of my XRP at $10 or $20? To me, it doesn't make any sense. And, to everyone who does that, I wish them the best. But for me, it's not part of my strategy at all. I'm holding and I'm not doing anything with my XRP till we're at 3 digits. And just so you guys know, I'm planning on never selling my XRP ever. Never selling any of my XRP. Not interested in cashing back out to a USDC, back to the fiat system. The reason why we're investing in crypto is to lock up our piece of this infrastructure, to lock up our piece of this blockchain that's going to run a large part of the derivatives market, the cross-border payment space, right? Trade finance with XDC, a $19 trillion trade finance market with XDC. That's what we're looking at. So I'm going to lock up my piece, and my plan is to leverage my bag, taking out a loan against it that I'll be able to invest into other things down the road. But in the meantime, I'm just going to sit back and watch. XRP is going to melt faces. XRP, in Quincy's own words, is going to make the rest of the space look like a joke, is going to make 2017 pump look like a joke. And so I'm going to sit back and enjoy the show. I'm going to let people who don't understand what they hold sell their bags at $10, $20, and $30. And I'll just sit back and continue to accumulate. Now, I do want to say thank you once again, Quincy, for coming on and giving me the time. I'm hoping to line up more bigger interviews down the road. Maybe we can get Quincy back on. But you guys, let me know in the comments down below who you would like to see me interview. I'm hoping to reach out to some of these other members in the XRP community and sit down for conversations with them down the road. Really looking forward to that. In summary, I want to say, if you guys aren't following me on TikTok, go check me out there. That's where I'm doing the daily live streams. I'm hoping to come with more YouTube content down the road. Really looking forward to that. And yeah, thank you once again, guys. I really appreciate all of you guys. I've said my piece, guys. XRP, we're looking at all the money. We're looking at all the money, guys. So know what you hold, keep accumulating, have patience. Whether we settle this case now in September or it doesn't happen till December, right? Sometime between now and the end of the year, this thing is going to wrap up, okay? So know what you hold, continue to accumulate. And if you guys want, my Patreon's in the description down below. Go check that out if you want to join my group. We have an incredible group. And a lot of people are confused. My Patreon, it comes with a Discord group. And in my Discord, we are talking about a lot of things, not just cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is just about half the story. Okay, we got a group of like-minded individuals who are committed to the truth, and we are trying to create generational wealth. That is the point. We're trying to create generational wealth, and we're trying to survive Agenda 2030. And I'll leave you guys on that note. I wish you all the best. God bless all of you guys. Thank you. Drop a comment down below. Make sure to like, share, thumbs up, thumbs down, do the thing. And I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Much more of this to come. Thank you. God bless.